This is your Adventist News Update, a service of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm Andrea Musgrove. Coming up in the news, the laypersons shine in the Atlantic Caribbean Union territory. Elders and pastors empowered for greater service, and a message of hope goes out to one of our local communities. These stories and more on this week's Adventist News Update. Thank you for joining us this week for News Update. Beginning in the month of September, the various conferences and missions will hold local festivals of the laity as the Inter-American Division and the Atlantic Caribbean Union continue to celebrate the laypersons within the church. The Turks and Caicos Islands mission held its first ever Festival of the Laity on September 6th to the 7th, 2013. Pastor Melchor Ferreira, Personal Ministries Director of the Inter-American Division, was the guest speaker for the event, along with Pastor Al Powell, Personal Ministries Director of the Atlantic Caribbean Union. A number of persons from throughout the islands of Providenciales and the Turks and Caicos Islands were awarded. Praise reports were shared about projects that were carried out in their individual communities and the souls that were won to the kingdom of God through their efforts. Among those honored was Elder Osias Joseph of the Five Keys Seventh-day Adventist Church for the Most Outstanding Layperson Award for the Turks and Caicos Islands mission, where Elder Joseph's outstanding work in evangelism, church leadership, and growth, as well as community development, was highlighted. The festivals of the laity throughout the Union continue in the South Bahamas Conference from September 27th to the 29th, and in the North Bahamas and Cayman Islands conferences during the month of October. This past weekend was a time of training, bonding, and earnest prayer for the elders and pastors of the South Bahamas Conference as they gathered at the Berea Seventh-day Adventist Church for the Elders Training and Certification Conclave. Pastor Paul Scavala, president of the South Bahamas Conference, in his remarks said, "The conference is committed to providing its local leadership with the tools and information needed to carry out their responsibilities in an effective and efficient manner." More than 100 elders participated in several workshops, including Effective Meeting Procedures, Counseling 101, How to Prepare Biblical Christ-Centered Sermons, and Visitation Protocols. Special guest presenters were Dr. Robert Wright, professor in the School of Religion and Theology at Northern Caribbean University, and Lorraine Duvalier, assistant director of the Child Protection Unit of the Department of Social Services. Dr. Wright presented on the spirit of prophecy and how to interpret the writings of Ellen G. White, and Mrs. Duvalier informed the pastors and elders of ways to build the communities where their churches are by networking with social services. Dr. Leonard Johnson, president of the Atlantic Caribbean Union Mission, was a devotional speaker for the event and also presented on the subject Assessing the Elders. Other presenters were Pastors Leonardo Ramey, T. Basil Stirrup, Barrington Brennan, Eric Clark, and Paul Scavala. And on Monday, September 16th, workshops continued for the pastors in our conference. During this Congress, pastors received instruction on several important subjects such as principles of effective leadership, conflict resolution, effective ways to use media ministry as an evangelism tool, and money management. Also presenting was Dr. Robert Wright, who continued his presentation on how to interpret the writings of Ellen G. White. Pastor Scavala expressed his gratitude to all the presenters and encouraged the elders and pastors to use the materials provided in their ministries. He said the church remains committed to fulfilling the mandate of the Great Gospel Commission to carry the gospel message to all the world. Last week's question tested your keenness, and I must say we have some diligent students of history watching. And we do have a winner who gave us the correct answer for the date our General Conference President visited the Bahamas. It was July 27th, 2013. And the winner is 5572176. Now let's take a look at this week's question.
Your history question of the day is, who is the first Adventist Book Center manager at the new Bahamas Conference headquarters? Was it A. Geneva Adderley, B. Kenny DeVoe, or C. Sherry Blackmore?
When we come back after the break, more news about a message of hope going out in some of our local communities.
Women can be strong and powerful,
spiritual and nurturing,
resourceful and talented, creative and loving.
but women need motivation,
inspiration and insight,
hampering and fellowship, a passion to share.
Does that sound like you? All this and more is prepared just for you, the women of the Atlantic Caribbean Union. This year at the Women's Ministries Retreat, September 20 to 22, hosted at the Sheraton Hotel, Cable Beach, Nassau, Bahamas. You can't afford to miss it because, like you,
all women need the Lord.
Welcome back to News Update. On Sunday, September 1st, Message of Hope Seventh-day Adventist Church launched its back-to-school community bash to assist children and parents in the surrounding community. The event quickly broadened into a fellowship and fun day for the church and community members alike. With uplifting gospel music filling the air, the mood remained festive. Members provided various eats, treats, and beverages, and even a bouncing castle for the children who awaited grooming services. The parents and guardians accompanying them chatted and watched with appreciation and even relief as the Message of Hope members provided barbering for the boys and hair care for the girls. A distribution of school supplies commenced where children were given books, pens, pencils, rulers, and sharpeners, along with hair accessories for the girls. Contacts were garnered, souls were uplifted, people in need were ministered to, and those who served were also blessed. The members give God thanks for the opportunity to be a part of the work in such an outreach effort. Here are some events that will be taking place around the South Bahamas Conference. A week has gone by since the launch of the 40 days of prayer and fasting, and this revival continues for all members. Each day we are all asked to pray for a specific thing. So visit the South Bahamas Conference office for the outline or see the conference website at www.southbahamasconference.org or contact your church's prayer coordinator for this information. The time for the Atlantic Caribbean Union Women's Ministries Retreat is almost here. All attendees are being reminded to complete their September 16th commitment at the South Bahamas Conference office in order to be ready for registration. For further information, contact your local Women's Ministries leader or call the conference office at 341-4021. Health Ministries Day will be held on September 28th in our local churches, and this is a great opportunity to sensitize members to healthful living. September has been dubbed Fruit and Veggie Month, and in keeping with this, you are being encouraged to add 2 or more servings of fruits and vegetables to your diet every day. And be up and moving at 6 a.m. on Sunday. Yes, I said 6 a.m. Sunday, September 29th at the Goodman's Bay for Let's Move Day. Breakfast will be served to participants. Wear your Let's Move t-shirt and get ready to move. The Real Harvest Experience Crusade in San Salvador got off to a start on September 8th. The evangelist is our very own Pastor Peter Joseph, Executive Secretary of the South Bahamas Conference. Please continue to pray for the series so that souls may be won for the eternal kingdom of God. World Pathfinder Day is coming up on September 21st, and as a part of this event, a Pathfinder speech competition will be held this year under the caption, The Power of One. The finals for the speech competition will be held on the Sabbath afternoon of September 21st. And within the South Bahamas Conference, we are all being good stewards of our time and talents. Here are some programs to help you sharpen your skills. Computer classes in Microsoft Word, Excel, Publisher, PowerPoint, and the Internet are available at the Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church. Direct your queries to Shanique Taylor at 361-2430 or email at shanique.n.taylor@gmail.com. And if you are interested in improving your communication skills, then join the Toastmasters Club, which meets at the Johnson Park Seventh-day Adventist Church Hall every Wednesday from 6 to 7:15 p.m. Along with learning to speak and deliver compelling presentations, you will also improve your thinking, listening, and leadership skills. In addition And speaking about improving skills, do you know an adult who would like to develop his or her reading skills? Then there are labs being held at the GMCI on Wolf Road on Tuesday, September 17th from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Please call 457-0222 for more information.
Cholesterol is a fatty substance that is essential for the body. Too much cholesterol in the blood can cause health problems. Cholesterol is a fatty substance produced naturally by your liver and found in your blood. The two main types of cholesterol are low-density lipoprotein, LDL, also known as bad cholesterol, which increases your risk of getting coronary heart disease. Also, high-density lipoprotein, HDL, also known as good cholesterol, because it helps to protect you against coronary heart disease. Most people with high cholesterol feel perfectly well and often have no symptoms. Therefore, the best way to find out if your cholesterol is high is to have a blood test. Making lifestyle changes, especially changing some of the foods you eat, is very important to help to reduce high cholesterol or LDL cholesterol. Some tips are: use oil spreads and margarines made from canola, sunflower or olive oil, and dairy blends that have earned the Heart Foundation tick instead of butter. Use salad dressings and mayonnaise made from oils such as canola, sunflower, soybean, olive, sesame, and peanut oils. Have 2 to 3 servings of 150 grams each of oily fish every week. Snack on plain unsalted nuts and fresh fruit. Eat plenty of vegetables. Choose whole grain bread, cereal, pasta, rice, and noodles. Limit fast food consumption and limit salty, fatty, and sugary snack foods. I'm Kenisha Henson, and this has been your health tip, courtesy of Adventist Television. And remember, God wants us to prosper and be in good health.
And now we go to the Record in Focus Christian News magazine for news from around the world.
New figures show that although Australians are drinking less alcohol on average, heavy drinkers are drinking more than they did a decade ago. The researchers suggest the increase in binge drinking may explain the rise in emergency hospital admissions and alcohol-related assaults. The research conducted by the National Drug and Alcohol Research Centre reveals that women's and men's drinking patterns are now virtually identical. It also shows more Australians than ever are choosing to drink less or not at all.
Look, I think drinking less often is a good thing, but the tragedy is often people are drinking more when they drink. It affects the mind, affects the body, it affects the person socially, and also sometimes tragically, the rest of their life is smeared because of a drinking episode that turned violent.
Your history question of the day was: who was the first Adventist Book Center manager at the new Bahamas Conference headquarters? The correct answer is A. Geneva Adderley.
As we go into this upcoming week, take some time to tell someone you really care. But not just in words, but in actions. On behalf of all of us here at the South Bahamas Conference, thanks for joining us for News Update. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm Andrea Musgrove.